Um, I just finished reading the book Summer by Edith Wharton, and I've wanted to, I'm sorry if it's a little bit hard to hear because it is windy and it's monsoon season, so it's probably gonna storm, so I'll just try to talk loud. But I have been intending to make video reviews about books I've read after I've read them, so thought it'd be fun to do this. So I started this book a few days ago. It was a pretty quick read, 255 pages, and I bought this book at a thrift store in California, and the summary of it described it as a new picture of female sexuality and a woman becoming to her sexual awakening, which sounded fascinating to me because it was published in 1917, so a book in 2023 about a woman's sexual awakening would be quite different from one of the 1900s. And it seemed fascinating, and it was. I feel as though I cannot fully digest this book, or possibly comprehend it, maybe because I'm too young, or maybe because I've never read a book like this. I left feeling quite disgusted, disappointed with the ending. I think the writing was very wonderful. I think it was descriptive, imaginative, great imagery, great, it was really cool how you felt like you were almost in their world, and that their world was so tiny that oftentimes the main character, Charity Royal, felt trapped to her setting and environment, that there was nowhere else to go for her. And as a reader, you felt like that as well towards the end, because like I remember she kept being like, oh, I need to go somewhere else, but it was like there is nowhere else to go. And I remember reading it being like, there's an entire world for you. But really, as the book progresses, you as a reader as well feel just so narrowed down by the options of Charity. It's like you have A, B, and C, or else like that's it, you know. I think part of the reason it was so aggravating to read was because she was so helpless. She was so hard-headed and tough, but so she was just such a victim to her circumstances, and she pretty much didn't have control of quite literally anything. And that was aggravating and frustrating to read, because it was like she deserved so much better. I don't want to give away any of the story, but I wished it had been an ending that was more an ode to Charity and a beacon of light or hope. I wish it had ended with her feeling at home within herself versus with another person. But I believe that the way it ended, in the way that she found safety and security through another person, was intentional. And I think you're supposed to feel kind of sad. I think you're supposed to feel a little bit disappointed, and I think you're definitely supposed to be sad for Charity. I was. But I think the hopefulness in me was that she was going to be able to find sanctuary within herself, and that did not happen, and that was disappointing. But it was also interesting because it was pretty simple. It's a fast read, and it felt like not that much happened, but a bunch of things happened, just all very quickly. Like, time progressed very quickly in the book, so that was interesting. And I wrote down a couple quotes that I really liked. I think the depiction of young love and first love was really beautiful to read, and you could really feel like the youthfulness in Charity as she is going through her feelings of romance and desire and such. And with a lot of the story, you kind of have to pick up on clues that aren't explicitly saying that this happened or that happened, but they did happen, and you kind of have to really be paying attention. At least for me as a reader, I kind of had to backtrack a little bit, like a page or two, and be like, oh, okay. But I kind of enjoyed that, because it was like you kind of discovered what was going on at your own pace in a way. One of the quotes I wrote down was with Charity and Harney. It seemed as if Charity Royal and young Harney were the only living beings in the great hollow of earth and sky. I really enjoy reading older books because I think that they depict earth and natural elements with such beauty and such detail and such love. She often, the main character, talks about the forest or the mountain, or the sky, or the night sky and the stars. Oftentimes she refers back to the stars and how she feels a place of safety and sanctuary within that. I think that's very beautiful. Another one, speaking of the stars, she seemed to have been caught up into the stars. I just think that one's really cute. Under his touch, things deep down in her struggled to the light and sprang up like flowers in sunshine. She depicts herself as a flower more than a couple times, which I think is an incredible literary element, because like virginity at that time was depicted as like a flower, like a budding flower, and when you lose that, your flower dies, and like a young female is a white flower. So the light inside of her was growing like a flower. That was really cool. And then I remember another quote towards the end. It was something like, Harney leaned her head back, facing the earth as if it were a flower, or something like that. Which, again, like, they're both in the context of sexual environments. And then the flower is powerful. It's powerful stuff. Her soul was still winging through the forest again. Woodsy element. Oh, all the glow in her blood, the breath of the summer earth, the rustle of the forest, the fresh call of the birds at sunrise, and the brooding midday langurs seemed to pass into her untrained voice, lifted and led by the sustaining chorus. This was at the time when she was singing to her town, and she felt all of the elements of her forest and birds, and again, all these natural elements of her setting being her light and friend inside of her that were coming out as she was singing. I thought that was so beautiful. But overall, this was a great book. I enjoyed reading it. Again, I was not super thrilled with the ending, but I also think endings are in the beauty of the ending is in the eye of the beholder. And so I just don't think it was quite for me, the ending, but I could see someone else with different experiences reading it and feeling quite satisfied with it. I think it just depends on who you are and your view on love and connection and what is the word I'm looking for? Oh God, and attachment, an attachment to setting and people and in general. I think attachment is a big factor in this book. So I would recommend reading it. I think it also teaches you a lesson as a reader. It teaches you a couple lessons. As a woman or a man, it teaches you a couple lessons of what to do and not to do. But I enjoyed it. I would rate it a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10. But yes, this is Summer by Edith Wharton, and I will return on my next read. Bye!